Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to review Death on the Winter Stroll by Francine Matthews for you. But I need to tell you something. This is book number 7 in the Mary Folger Nantucket Mystery Series. I'm going to repeat that. Mary Folger Nantucket Mystery Series. Now, this book looked really intriguing, and in the email that I got to request for me to review it, it said it could work as a standalone. So I took a chance and I read it as a standalone. I will say for maybe 5 or 6% of the book, I was a little bit lost because I didn't know who Mary Folger was. And I didn't understand her role. But that was only for a few pages, 5 or 6 minutes, and then I was into the book. Who is Mary Folger? Well, she is a Nantucket detective. Why am I struggling with that word? That's in Massachusetts, okay? She's a Nantucket detective, and she has her newest case. But not being familiar with the prior books in the series, I had to get to know who Mary Folger was. Now, as we see in this book, she's very dedicated to her job, and I'm sure these other books in the series were probably very good books. And who knows, if time will allow, I'll go back and read the previous books. But this particular book had an interesting take because you have maybe a 20-80 percentage of books that I read where 80% of the books, maybe even 90% of the books don't mention the pandemic at all. And then you have 10 or 20% of the books that somehow factor it into the story. Well, in this particular book, the COVID-19 pandemic plays a huge role. Okay? The pandemic is over. But on Nantucket Island, the community has suffered great financial loss, and it has taken a huge emotional toll on the residents of Nantucket Island. And so, time and again, this book mentions the pandemic and how it affected everyone there. But now things have changed. In fact, there's a TV crew in town that is filming on the island, and that is going to bring in tourists, it's going to bring in income and revenue, and the shops are going to get more business, the restaurants are going to get more business, and just maybe, with the holidays approaching, Nantucket Island can come to life again. Okay, however, you have two groups of people on the island. You have year-long residents and you have tourists, okay? But you also have people that are coming into the island that are part of this television production that's being filmed. Then you have the Secretary of State and her daughter, her family, and her staff that are also on the island. Then you have a photographer who's killed. And then another victim is killed. All of this is happening while Mary is trying to keep those long-term residents comfortable and happy in their home. But now you've got these murders, and they've got to be connected. There's no doubt about that, okay? And what you also have in this book is you have a couple of young people who are grumbling, unhappy young people. So you want to know what their roles are in this book, in the murders, if they're involved in the murders in any way, and how they connect. And when I say these young people, you have the Secretary of State's, her son, Ansel, and then you have an actor who's in the television production, his daughter, Winter. So you have, those are the young people that I mentioned. They're not young like teenagers, they're like in their mid-20s. So when you have these young people who are suddenly connected, and they're not island residents, although the secretary the United States Secretary of State is a returning, like someone that returns to the island to recoup and to regroup. And then you got these murders. So as I'm meeting Mary Folger or Meredith Folger, and I'm reading a book that factors in the pandemic and the effects that it had on the lives of the residents there and how businesses and livelihoods are being restored, and then you have murder thrown in, you find this to be, at least I found this to be, quite an interesting story. Now, I want to check something before I go on with my review. The Kindle price is $14.99, so I highly doubt that it's available on Kindle Unlimited. And I wish I bought in another tablet, because we're going to jump over, and I'm going to do this while I am talking to you, and I might edit it out, but I do want to check out, let's just check out our library in case you want to read the series, because I kind of think that I do, because I liked Meredith Folger. I really did, or should I say Mary Folger. So we're just going to take a quick peek. Francine Matthews. And I simply did not have time to go back and read these previous books. So she's definitely not on Hoopla. So we're going to jump over to Libby. It'll just take a second. And like I said, I might even edit this out. But let's just take a quick peek. Francine Matthews. Of course, if I didn't do a typo, I might be able to get somewhere. Let's put her name in again. Unfortunately, I'm not finding her previous books on Hoopla or Overdrive, so you'd have to likely get them by audiobook or by Kindle. So I don't know. I just wanted to tell you that, because I always try to tell you where you can get the books, but whether or not you are interested in the prior books in the series, or if you want to pick up with this book like I did, never fear, because it's a good book. And it was, like I said, it took me a couple minutes to jump into it, but it was made relatable because it brought in the pandemic and the aftermath of the pandemic. So I know I've said that, 3 times now, but I did want to check that out. So I like Meredith Folger, and if there are successive books in the series, like book 8, book 9, I will read the future books if I get requested to review them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I wish I knew a little bit more about our detective, but I'm sure if I read other books in the series, I'll learn more about her. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.